So continuing on right away with part 2, while I have the energy to do so. We were last talking about words and speech in the last video, and I talked to you about how your words are like emissaries, right? You send them out to do your bidding, right? To communicate the thoughts that you wish to communicate, both in written form, body language, the way that you speak to other people, okay? And I had a thought one to add to that really quick. Show me a person who speaks nothing of importance. They can only talk about frivolous matters. And I'll show you a person who knows nothing of themselves, and they know nothing of anyone else as well. So, which kind of person do you want to be? Then shouldn't you get to know who you are, what you're about, and what you intend to accomplish, what your goals are, what sets you back, what are your weaknesses, what are your flaws, how do you overcome those kinds of things? All of that is discovered when you're sitting to have conversations with yourself, thinking about your ideals and your values. So, next up, talking about eating. You can be disciplined in what you eat, right? As I talked about before, eliminated all sugar, okay? So you can make other decisions. Maybe you have religious or spiritual practices that tell you to eat in certain ways. Then do so if that's your prerogative to do so, right? Perhaps there's certain diets that you want to eat. There's certain foods you want to eat more of or less of. You need to get your vegetables and your fruits and your vitamins and whatever that might be, whatever that looks like to you. Okay, then you can engage it. But let's not just forget, not just physically what we eat, but emotionally, mentally, and if you participate in such things, spiritually, right? What are you eating as far as the food, right? What goes into you, right? Into you when you eat food, you air, you breathe, your thoughts and other people's thoughts. This is what forms who you are. So then you need to start being disciplined with what you're eating here, and what you're eating with your mouth, right? But you get to decide what that looks like. I'm not going to tell you you don't have to adopt the practices that I adopted. I'm asking you to adopt something, to make a plan for yourself and be careful about what kind of food, of all kinds, mental food, emotional food, spiritual food, physical food, that you're taking in, okay? Then, how often, knowing that this is true, this is what's going to form who you are in the future, how often will you eat nutritious food, right? Things that benefit you, your psyche, your mentality, your emotional self. How often are you going to participate in that? And I guess it depends on what future you wish to see and the quality of life you hope to have. Do you want to have disease by the time you're 40? Do you want to be sick and have issues and those kinds of... Now, some of them are unavoidable. Everyone's going to get stuff over time. This is how it works. You live long enough, your body breaks down, various things like that. But there's not just diseases of the body, right? There's not just things that they will get. And it's not necessarily their fault. I'm not casting blame. But you can reduce the chances of you acquiring those diseases and improve your quality of life, again, by being disciplined, right? But again, you have to decide what that is, do your research, figure out what is right for you. It might not be right for everyone else, okay? You can also have diseases of the spirit, of the heart, of the mind, right? We see people afflicted with diseases of the mind walk around outside. They're struggling, right? And so there's not any guarantee that you're not going to end up with any of these various afflictions. But again, your decisions will affect the outcome. Your discipline will affect the outcome. Not going to guarantee, but the likelihood of a better outcome will be improved when you're able to apply self-discipline. The next one I wanted to talk to you about on this topic is your emotions. I got a couple more quotes here. Really like these. There's so many things within Stoicism and philosophy, which is, again, a cornerstone in my opinion, of your ability to form yourself and create the person that you want to see in the future, okay? And so there's just so many, I can't even list them all. I could probably fill this board up 100 times with fantastic pieces of wisdom. If you go on my Discord server, I post about 1 quote a day, sometimes 2, sometimes a week goes by and I don't. I'm busy. I'm doing a lot of things. Okay? So forces beyond your control can take away everything you possess except one thing: your freedom to choose how you will respond to the situation. Told you I have a stutter. You just don't know. I don't usually display it that much. I can't help it. Okay? By Viktor Frankl. Okay? He was a German psychiatrist. A very, very interesting mind, brilliant gentleman, and I love a lot of his quotes as well. Again, you cannot control everything around you, especially if you're youth. Your teachers will decide things. Nope, if you got this wrong, you're losing a half a point. If this happened, such and such. There's different rules and regulations to society. Maybe somebody walks across the middle of the road and doesn't get a ticket, but you get a jaywalking ticket. Who knows? All kinds of things can happen. There can be government actions. There can be familial actions, community actions that take place. And all of these things might have actual effects on your life. They can take away everything you possess. But even in that space, only you gets to choose how you respond. Never forget that strength. They cannot take that from you. You could put a smile on your face and walk out the gallows, right? If that's something that had to happen to you, you get to decide that. They can't take that from you. Never forget that. So, another one, choose. This is from Marcus Aurelius, famous Roman emperor. So, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. What does that mean? It means, again, same thing. You get to choose how you respond to the stimulus that you're being affected by. Did you fail to qualify for Amy? Well, we can just be super mad and sad and all of these things. I'm a failure. No, you're a failure when you quit. Do you think that the greats never failed to achieve their objective? Of course they did. It taught them things that they would then go on and use in their course of life to make it to the goals they wish to achieve. If you're not failing, you're not trying. And so look into those kinds of things as well. Your decision making about how you respond. I got a couple anecdotes to offer from my own youth. This is stuff that I've been thinking about since I was in high school. Okay, I always have thought about why do I respond certain ways to certain things. There was a time when I was going out with friends, junior or senior year, something like that, and I came home too late, right? And I was told right away, I already anticipated the response. Your curfew's this, you're out past it, this is the result. And discipline, outside, external, not self-discipline, was applied. Now, there's probably reasons why I didn't have a car. I don't get to decide when I come home. I'm dependent on other people. I never had a car till I was 21. Right? All of you who think about, I didn't get a car till later, or my friend got one, or they got it when they turned 16 and I didn't. Everybody has different situations. I had to buy my own. There was no help. Right? So think about that. So I didn't have any way to control the outcome of coming home late. And so my dad says, that's the rule. You're grounded. You lose this privilege, that privilege, etc., etc. But what did I respond with? Okay. He was upset. He couldn't understand, why are you not upset about this? Right? All your Nintendo's gone, your computer, and no phone privileges, no TV, you'll be in bed, blah, 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 all those things. Because what will it do me any good to have any kind of emotional response to that? Was the rule set? Did I violate the rule? Is this the consequences of those actions? Is my outrage, is my emotional response going to change the outcome of the situation? No. The only thing that you change with that emotional response is you. You're just compounding the issue. None of the punishments, if you will, the discipline is going to change. All of those things are going into effect. But there's one more effect. You can punish yourself by being angry, bitter, and mad. Right? You can be emotionally distraught over this. Oh no, the world's unfair. It's not my. You can make all the excuses. You didn't deserve all of that. Does it change anything? No. Why? Why react? And my father didn't like that, actually. He thought I was being flippant. You're being flippant. Basically, you don't care. You're just, no, it's not that I don't care, it's that I don't have a choice on the matter. So why would I allow myself to become emotionally displaced when there's nothing I can do about it at all? Right? We all feel the sense to defend ourselves when we think some kind of injustice has occurred. But ask yourself, is this an appropriate time to do so? How you conduct yourself, how you speak to people who might be offering you external sources of discipline at that time. Right? So, another one was my McDonald's manager. I worked there for 4 years at McDonald's. I have no problems with that. People think it's just a stupid job. I learned a lot. I got lucky enough to work for a great manager who instilled a lot of values. A lot. Just like a father figure almost. And one of the things he did, there was I don't know the situation anymore. There was something that I had done that he felt was a violation of his, code of ethics, what he would have expected of a manager. I was an assistant manager in the store, or at that time shift manager, later and a salaried assistant manager at that location. And he was admonishing me about something, and there was a reason I felt, right? He was saying that you should have done X, Y, and Z, but I felt there's external reason C as to why those options are not valid. He didn't want to hear it. He told me something, and I'll never, never, never forget it. And I would give it to you now, and hopefully you can take it, and when you're in a similar situation in the future, you can respond similarly. And he said, I didn't ask you for your excuse. I didn't ask you for the reason why you did what you did. You know what you say when someone offers you discipline? I'm young then, I'm in my 20s. And I say, you know what? And he's like, you say thank you. And that's it. Why? Because that person is taking their time to try to help you improve. Now, do you agree with their assessment? Do you agree with what they've said? Irrelevant. It doesn't make a difference. You say thank you because not everybody in your life will take the time to try to improve you. Your parents, do you think it's easy being a parent? Think about it. How much difficulty do you have managing your own life? Can you imagine? You don't even have to manage the household. Can you imagine how difficult it is? They have to manage their own lives and the life around you. Who turns the lights on? Who buys the food? Who does the laundry? Who does the chores? Who takes the vehicles in that get you around the places you need to go? And on top of managing all of that and all of the world they have to deal with, they're also helping to manage you. Do you think that's easy? They're not going to make mistakes? What, you don't make mistakes right now? Right? How many sillies do you make on a given simple test? And that's not even complicated. That's just math. Right? Now you throw in the complications of human relationships, the emotions that affect us and afflict all of us at various times. You know what you should start saying? Thank you. Just say thank you. It's really all there is to be said. Right? And again, it doesn't matter. You might, yes, your disagreement about the validity of the way that discipline is applied, all of that might have, some valid point to it. Okay? But don't lose the gratitude. Don't lose that. Okay? I look back at my youth. My father was very disciplinarian type thing. I appreciate all of it. Because there's going to come a time when you're moved out of your home and you're in the dorm room and you're studying and there's no one there to tell you no. You know who has to tell you no at that time? You have to tell yourself no. You have to discipline yourself. They're helping you now in a way that you might agree with or you might not agree with. It really doesn't matter. But sometime you're going to be the one that has to discipline yourself. And so until that time, learn to appreciate these kinds of things. It's not easy being someone in that role, trying to help you in the right way while managing their own emotional needs, your emotional needs, the family's needs. Not an easy task. So you might have friends that got different results from different situations, and you might have your own opinion about what you think is fair or not fair, but at least they're trying. At least they're making an effort, right? And don't forget that. Don't lose sight of that because of your disagreement with perhaps how you thought discipline should be applied from external sources. This goes for teachers, whatever. If you're it'll change people the way they respond to you. You just say thank you when they chew you out or something. What? They're waiting for you to have a reaction and you have none. It throws people off. And number one, it's going to show maturity. Okay? So that's it for this part. Let's go ahead and erase this and get to part 3.